Hello YouTube. As you can see, I'm outside of an abandoned tunnel. This here is the Rays Hill Tunnel, which is a part of the abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike. And that is a 13-mile stretch of roadway that was finished in the late 40s and then abandoned in the late 60s because of these tunnels here. Now, these tunnels themselves, I believe, were originally constructed in the 1880s. Now, I'm not sure if they were finished in the 1880s, but I know that they started construction in the 1880s. And it was going to be a part of a Pennsylvania railroad system that connected Pittsburgh to Harrisburg. And it was being built by William Vanderbilt, the industrial icon. But J.P. Morgan and some brokers came to a deal and halted construction of this railroad altogether. And the land sat abandoned until about 1937, when a Pennsylvania commission got together and decided that they were going to try to make the first American superhighway. And they came to success in 1947. I believe it was 1947. The Turnpike stretched all the way from the Ohio state line all the way to the New Jersey state line. But what they found in this 13-mile stretch here is that these tunnels themselves, originally built for a single locomotive, became a little difficult for new modern vehicles to fit through, being that they're so narrow, and the roadway itself being so wide. Whenever you come to the tunnel here, it really bottlenecks off, and that was causing a lot of issues, especially with bigger trucks that were being made, because the tunnels, not only are they narrow, but they're not really high enough for some of the modern trucks to fit through. So this 13-mile stretch was abandoned in the 60s, and a new part was constructed that goes out around, that is I-76, but it completely goes out around this stretch here. And if you listen closely, you can hear the traffic on I-76. So if this was still up and running today, that traffic that you hear would be running this stretch right now. And this would probably be a giant cluster of vehicles because it'd be a bottleneck in the tunnel. So pretty neat. This is part of the reason why I wanted to come out here. I came across this abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike and wanted to come check it out, and that's exactly what I did. But this morning, two Granddaddy Longlegs are either getting it on or fighting right here. So you don't get to see that every day, along with abandoned tunnels. I did walk through the tunnel. I got about halfway through it, and every hair on my body stood up, and my cross necklace that I wear started to float above my chest, and it felt like every demon known to mankind was about to pounce on me. So I turned around and got up out of there as quick as I could. I did go to Boswell's this morning, as I'm falling off the ledge here, and I got something pretty cool. I got a shotgun shell poker Boswell pipe. Take a look at that thing. The stem on it, you can't really see all that great because of the lighting, is a deep matte purple that is just incredible. I mean, that is a beautiful stem. Then you have the brass shotgun shell around it and the poker itself, so it sits nice and flat. Now, I was told by JM's grandson, which somehow I didn't get his name, but he did say that it was he was the grandson of JM. He told me that the pokers were originally made, that style of pipe was made because poker players were getting upset that their stems were touching the poker tables while they were playing games. So they went to their pipe makers or whoever was making pipes and asked them if they could make something that would stand so that the stem, there's a bug on my stem there, that the stem would not touch the table. Now, I would assume that what would cause more unrest would be that as the pipe sat on the table, they would roll around and get the tobacco crumbs on the tables themselves. But that's not what I was told, that it was actually the stems were touching the table, and the poker players did not like that, or the dealers didn't like that, or the people that owned the tables didn't like that, whatever it may be. So that's what I was told, but I have a shotgun shell Boswell pipe. I don't know how many people can say that. Probably a lot, but I don't know how many people can say that. So I'm collecting a bunch of rare Boswell pipes now. That's pretty freaking cool. In it, I have some old school JM Burley, which I have yet to smoke, but I assume it's going to be fantastic. I was talking to the grandson, and he told me that what makes Boswell blends a lot different from all the other blends is that there's only really 3 ingredients in their blends. There's the organic tobacco themselves, which I believe he said this is Amish-grown tobacco. The Burley that they get is Amish-grown, which is really cool because a while back I had an idea for an Amish tobacco that I never got to go through with because I don't really know too many tobacco blenders. But to know that they have one is really cool. So I'm going to give that a try and see what I like about it. But the 3 ingredients is just the tobacco, whatever food flavoring they're using, and distilled water. But what separates them from a lot of other blenders, major factory blenders, is that they use some sort of oil in their tobaccos that causes that sizzling, that burning, that really causes the tongue bite. The food flavoring and the oil mixed together creates some sort of chemical reaction, especially towards the bottom of your bowl as it starts to heat up. And that's what causes the real bad sizzling and the moisture content. So essentially, the way I think of it is with that oil being added, you're pretty much deep frying your tobacco at the very end of your bowl. Whereas the Boswell blends, they'll burn hot if you smoke them wrong, but you won't get that same sizzling, that same tongue bite, because it doesn't have that oil to mix with the food flavoring. It just has the food flavoring that if it gets too hot, it'll sizzle a little bit, but it won't cause tongue bite. And he did say specifically that whether it's the food flavoring or if they were to just remove the food flavoring and put the oil in, that when they act alone, they will not cause tongue bite. But when they act together, they will, which I thought was kind of interesting. So all this time, everybody that kind of thinks that, it's the different way that you smoke, it's the smoke itself coming at you, it's really just the tongue bite is caused from the combination of those two, the oils and the food flavoring. So my uncle, we got him smoking a pipe not too long ago, maybe a year ago, and he really likes cherry blends. But the cherry blends that he's had, I believe, is Finsbury vanilla, and there's another one, Finsbury cherry, not vanilla. He really likes cherry blends. I don't remember the other one, but he said that it caused really bad tongue bite. So I'm going to pick him up a ounce of cherry smash and have him try that and see if it causes the same tongue bite, because that does not have the oil in it. It does have the food flavoring. And that's about all that I did. Oh, I went to this cafe today, now that I remember. I forget the name of it, though. What an a-hole I am. Bad advertising on my part. But I went to a cafe today. Got a hot tea with honey in it. Fantastic. Even though it was just hot tea and honey. Can't go wrong. And I got an everything bagel with steak, egg, and spinach on it. Top 10 breakfast I've ever had in my life. It was sensational. I'll be going back tomorrow, because when you find something that good, you can't pass it up. So that's what I did. That's what I've done today. I'm not going into that tunnel again. I've made my mind up because I don't want to be possessed. There's nobody else around here, and if anything were to happen, right here, where you see those kind of patched up windows, there's a room there. And that looks like a scene from a horror movie. It looks like atrocities were committed in there to human beings. So I'm not going to be going in there. Pretty neat place. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or don't, I guess. We'll see you around. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Figured I might as well show you the inside of the tunnel here. You can see the light back there. I got about halfway through, and like I said, I thought I was going to get jumped by spirits, so I didn't like that. Now I'm going to show you the room where atrocities were committed. Yeah, pretty scary. I'm going to step into it. Look at this. You know what I'm saying? I apologize for any inappropriate graffiti you may have just seen. There is quite a bit. I saw a lot of crazy stuff here. So yeah, that's the tunnel. This might be the smaller of the two. The two tunnels. One I think is 3,500 feet, and the other one's 6,500 feet. If I remember correctly, pipes going out. Go figures. I'm talking. So yeah. That's all it is. So I'm going to add this to the end of the video. Hopefully you stuck around for it. If you didn't, guess you miss out. Later.